Well, this is going to finish it for nouns. I'm going really so fast, but so be it. You can study the matter if you want. Back in nouns, I think this is 9 point whatever. All the average person ever needs to know about nouns. All this traffic going up the road. There goes the mailman. One thing about when it gets colder, I'll shut all the windows and doors. It'll be quieter, even though it'll be cold. All right, there are certain rules for forming the plural of nouns, the PL, plural of nouns. And I just say they're to be inferred. Figure them out from the following examples. Otherwise, I would have to just go on, and it would be so tedious. You probably know, but anyway, there are various ones. In general, what we do in English is we add z, the sound z, at the end of a word if we want to make it plural. So we've got book, one book, two books, there it is. But a lot of this has to do with spelling. If you've got one hope, I have one hope. No, I have two hopes. Well, that's okay. I mean, we just added an S. But then, if you've got a glass of water, if you've got two glasses, now you've got to add the E. If you've got a box, boxes. See, a lot of this has to do with spelling. Party. If I'm sure kids at some point heard this, that the word party, if there's a one, it ends with a Y. Well, you change the Y to I and add ES. That's the way that rule goes. Parties. You change the spelling. So the sound is really the same. Party, parties. If you were just spelling by sound, you wouldn't have this. So in a way, what I'm doing here is I'm showing you about spelling. Boys, well, in that case, you don't change the Y to I and add ES. Why? I think it has to do with the fact that it's one syllable only. I'm not sure. Now, there are some words in English that if it ends with an F, like leaf or wolf, you change that F to a V. Leaves, leafs. Maybe it's too hard to say it with an F. Wolves. Those would be examples of that. Now there are some words like children. Well, if you have one child, why wouldn't you have two childs? Well, you don't. And what happened there is we retain the influence of German. You just don't. Ein Kind is a child. Two children would be Kinder. Which is, well, it's not the same, but anyway, that's one of the reasons. Same with an ox. If you've got one ox, fine. If you've got two oxes, no, you've got two oxen. These are influenced by German. Cactus becomes cacti. Octopus becomes octopi or octopi. That comes from Latin. Certain words retain the rule for forming its plural from the original language. Another example of that would be criterion. What is your criterion for making that decision? Well, a lot of people wouldn't actually know that singular criterion. They might mistakenly use the plural, criteria, which is more than one. This has to do with Greek, from Greek. Some words don't change at all. Like there's one deer, no, there's a lot of deer. It changes the same. Same with sheep. One sheep, a flock of sheep, many sheep. Doesn't change at all. Sometimes that happens. And then a word like mouse becomes mice, and goose becomes geese. Well, that's called mutation. This last is called vowel mutation. And I think it's safe to say that any time that's going to happen, it's going to be because the word is coming from German. In German, there is a lot of vowel mutation. You don't just change the ending of the word, you change the vowel back inside the word. Very common. If a goose is two goose, if you have one goose and now you've got two geese, why not one moose? And then if you've got two, you've got two meese? No, it doesn't work. There's two mooses, or maybe two moose. You could maybe use that principle, but not meese. Why? Because a moose, this is this animal that some of you watching in Europe might not even know. You probably know, with these real big horns. It was an American animal. It was in the New World. And I think if you would look it up, you would find out that moose is probably an Algonquian word. It's a word out of some American Indian language, and so it doesn't obey the rule that would have come from Latin. All right, with that, I'm ready to leave nouns behind, and I guess on Friday I'm going to start to take up verbs, I guess. Remember, there's no class tomorrow. I'm going off to elementary school. But I do have one more video today. Back to the chronological survey briefly.